Hello, everybody, and welcome to the special edition of the Christmas Fireside Chat. I think last year Otto had a Christmas hat on or something, a party hat or something.
I dropped the ball this year.
No, you didn't drop the ball. You see, Megan is too hard on herself. But this is a very common characteristic of excellent people. They're hard on themselves. Let's talk about Megan for the next 15 minutes and then bring in oxygen so as to revive her. Anyway, we're releasing this a day before Christmas, and to those of you celebrating, and I hope it's many of you, Merry Christmas, truly from the bottom of my heart. And I want to talk to you about Christmas. I want to talk to you about the great battle in the West and in America specifically, and then take your questions. So let me say at the outset, I've said this in the past, I don't know if on Fireside Chats or not, but I certainly have written about it and broadcast about it. I am a religious practicing Jew, and my favorite time of the year is Christmas time. And I see zero conflict in saying that. Christmas in America has been unbelievably special to me since I was a child. As many of you know, I'm very into music, specifically classical music. My second favorite music, to Beethoven and Bach and so on, is Christmas music. Not just the Handel's Messiah. In other words, not just things that, although Handel's Messiah would be more addressed to Easter, but it not just the classical, but I mean the great melodies created in America between, I'd say, about 1925 and 1960. An astounding eruption of gorgeous Christmas music. By the way, most, or at least half, of the biggest Christmas music hits were written by Jews. To give you an idea of how appealing the Christmas season has been across religion and across everything else that people might define themselves by. And I have watched in my lifetime the demise of Christmas as an essential part of American life. And it began with the dropping of Christmas for the word holiday. You're intellectually dishonest if you do not acknowledge that that was a deliberate attack on the specialness of Christmas. We don't say that about any other holiday. We say Happy Thanksgiving, we say Happy Halloween, we say Happy New Year, but with regard to Christmas, we say Happy Holiday. Now, why is that? Because of the deliberate attempt to de-religionize the United States of America. I never say Happy Holidays. I don't respond to Happy Holidays. I just respond with Merry Christmas. The idea that a non-Christian would be offended by the words Merry Christmas is literally pathologic. If you are offended, if you are told Merry Christmas and you happen not to be a Christian, there's something wrong with you. There is nothing wrong with the person who said Merry Christmas. My listeners know that I am a Jew who observes, if you will, Hanukkah. They wish me regularly Merry Christmas, and I am deeply touched that they do. In Israel, where the majority are Jews, you think they don't say Shana Tova, Happy New Year, to non-Jews in Israel? Are they offended? I don't think so. They say Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom is said on Israeli radio. It's a Jewish country, a country mostly of Jews. And on the radio, as sunset takes place on Friday and the beginning of the Sabbath, they wish their listeners Shabbat Shalom. Not Happy Holiday, not Good Saturday, but Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat peace. That's the traditional wish on the Sabbath. Are non-Jewish people who listen to Israeli radio offended? So why is anybody offended by Merry Christmas? You are a narcissist if you are offended by Merry Christmas. There is literally something morally and psychologically wrong with you. I don't normally talk like this, but it's true. How could you be offended by a beautiful wish? You don't observe it, so what? It happens to be a national holiday in the United States of America. As far as the ACLU is concerned, we would drop that. I'll bet you if there were a vote in among Democratic Party members of Congress, I don't think that they would yet have the courage of their convictions and drop Christmas as a national holiday, but I'll bet a fair number of Democrats would vote to drop it as a national holiday. The idea of a few weeks a year devoted to kindness and devoted to, as it were, cheer and the special music and Salvation Army kettles collecting money for the poor, how could you not like that? What could be bad about that? So I just wanted to say those words on behalf of this wonderful time of year, the wonderful music, the wonderful feelings, the wonderful ambience. The other 11 months of the year are normal, and we wanted to have something special. And it's being clobbered. What is this notion of the Christmas party at work now called the holiday party? How offensive. That's offensive. Don't the majority of your workers at wherever you work observe or at least have something to do with Christmas? Your business will offend your employees if you have a Christmas party? I shake my head in the incredulity of it all, the incredibility of it all. When Donald Trump would say, "Make America great again," somebody should have made a list. Maybe I'll do it. What does that mean? And it would clearly have no political end because he is presumably out of office. And I would give this as an example. When people think make America great again, it was when companies could have a Christmas party, not a holiday party, which means nothing, celebrates nothing. And I say this all as a committed and religious Jew, okay, just for the record. So I got a lot more credibility, you might think, than a Christian saying this, because you think, oh, they're just defending their holiday. Well, I'm not defending my holiday. I'm defending America's holiday. And it is. And I still feel American. The other thing I just wanted to raise is, and I think I talked about this last year, is that right? This notion of, oh, it's just consumer. You have to be a real curmudgeon. You have to be an unhappy human being. Let me be more direct. To object to people buying gifts for other people. Oh, what commercialism. Yeah, wouldn't it be much nicer if nobody bought gifts for anybody on Christmas? Oh, what a beautiful society that would be. The unhappy have a great deal to say in our society, unfortunately. Okie dokie, let's go to your questions, beginning with the video question. Take it away, O questioner.
Hi, Dennis. My name is Karina. I'm 20 years old from Glendora, California. My question is, how do you think Christmas has changed over the years in America, and have companies ruined it by turning it into a gift-giving holiday?
All right, thank you so much. I guess I sort of addressed that, didn't I? You know what? I am not finding the questions, oh dear one. Oh, I did. So, how is it, let's see, how do we think Christmas has changed over the years in America? Well, it's changed in that it's less central to American life, tragically. And I talked about that. It's now been neutered into a holiday. Halloween is not just a holiday. New Year's is not just a holiday, but Christmas. People say Happy Hanukkah. If people know that they're talking to a Jew, do they say Happy Holiday? No, they say Happy Hanukkah. But if they're talking to a Christian, they say Happy Holiday. Right? There is a massive attempt to de-Christianize this country. And this Jew knows what'll happen, because when Christianity died in Europe, you didn't get girls selling cookies. You got Nazism, fascism, and communism. So I fear very little in life. One of the things I do is the death of Christianity in America. It leads to bad stuff. The other is, again, Christmas into a gift holiday. It is a gift holiday. It's part of the nature of it. It's a wonderful thing. I prefer gift holidays to non-gift holidays, for the record. Okay. Clemens, 30, from Offenau, Germany. Hello, Mr. Prager. Hello, Otto. Oh, I didn't even say hello to you, Otto. It's great to see you. You're the man. Hello, producer. And everyone else. Mr. Smith. What are your favorite Christmas songs, regardless of whether it's a classic or modern song? All the best, and Frohe Weihnachten. German for Merry Christmas. Okay. So, you know what? Had I known this was a question, I would have made a list. But what is it, Soldier Boy? What is that famous one? Do You See What I See? What is the name of that? What is the name of it? Do you see what I see? Anyway, that's one of my favorite. I love Have a Holly Jolly Christmas. When Burl Ives sing it, Burl Ives, by the way, is a radical leftist, but I divide. But if you're a fool with a great voice, I will enjoy your great voice. Otherwise, we're stuck. This notion of, I don't buy this notion. It's despicable. It's destructive. That, oh, well, Beethoven was white, so I can't really say music was great. What do I care if he's white? What do I care if Burl Ives was, I don't know, pseudo-communist or communist? He sang great. Wagner was an anti-Semite. He wrote great operas. This notion of you judge art by the artist will end up with no art. That's pretty much the case. What was the name of the song?
Do you hear what I hear?
Do you hear what I hear is the name of the song?
Yeah.
Not do you see what I see? Oh, so I was wrong. Okay, fine. Anyway, I got a lot. There's a whole host of those great songs. So to you, let's see, Clemens, to you, Frohe Weihnachten. Jonathan, 12, Atlanta, Georgia. What do you do with the fruitcakes? I used to use them whenever I didn't have my dumbbells around. I would do curls with them. But that's a while ago. I now have dumbbells around. And what I do is I immediately give it away. The fruitcake actually arrived last week. And within 5 minutes, I had given it away. In other words, the first person to walk into my radio studio got it. And when I found out that she actually liked fruitcake, it brought great joy to me. I can't tell you how moved I was. Now, you know what? I'm really ribbing fruitcake. There's nothing intrinsically wrong with it. But part of the problem is my employer, who I have great admiration and gratitude to, admiration for and gratitude to. I've been with for 20 years, Salem Radio Network. They have been giving me the same fruitcake for 20 years. And by the same, I'm not kidding, it's the same tin, the same cake. My theory is about 20 years ago, they bought 1,000 of them. And since they never spoil, here's an advantage of fruitcake that few people realize. In case of nuclear attack, this is one of those foods that lasts forever. I'm living proof that they do. Because this is 20 years of these fruitcakes. For all I know, the company is out of business. But we're still getting them. Okay. Ashby, 16, Pennsylvania. Dear Dennis Prager, I'm wondering what should families do during the holiday season because Governor Tom Wolf, that's the Pennsylvania tyrant, has implemented many new restrictions and made my family question if it's worth the risk of getting together with one another for family gatherings. Thank you for your time, and God bless you and your family. Thank you. God has blessed me and my family is what I always answer when people say, God bless you. I have been blessed. So I think you should get together. If there is somebody who is truly compromised immunologically, that's an issue that you or that person will have to decide on. It is unhealthy. In other words, it hurts you not to get together. We live in a society because of the leftist influence where you are not allowed to ask ever, with regard to a left-wing policy, what price are we paying? The price paid for people not getting together for 9 months, not getting together Thanksgiving or Christmas, is huge. By the way, in health, not just in the psyche, that you would not get together on the off chance, I mean, that you will be terribly ill and even may die. Do you know what the chance of that is? It's minuscule. I've been getting together with people every week since the beginning of the lockdown. So what was that, February, March, whatever it was. I have not missed a week. I have attended rallies against the lockdowns. I have hugged strangers. I'm a senior citizen and I've hugged strangers. Hundreds of them, maskless. We don't even realize, we don't know fully how this thing spreads. Whereas just the other day, I was aware of a person who had not essentially left their house in 9 months and they got COVID. They can't figure out how. I can't figure out how either. And then there are people who are with others, and sometimes you do get it if you're with others. So what? The tragedy and evil of all of this is that people don't take hydroxychloroquine or ivermectin, or both, as I do. Because in the early stages of COVID, if you take that, your chances are overwhelmingly likely you will have minimal symptoms, let alone not die. So you're going to miss Christmas with your family and loved ones because you're being lied to about the dangers of a drug that is so safe. People have been taking it half a century. Many people have taken it half a century. We live saturated in lies, saturated because of the media. So it's a very, very dangerous time we're living in, very dangerous. People ask me if I'm optimistic. I'm not optimistic. I'm not pessimistic. I don't know the future, but I know we're in danger. The lying media, they just lie. The social media, I've heard, will actually ban any references to hydroxychloroquine and ivermectin. Doctors and social media are responsible for tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dead Americans. That is not my belief, my certitude. So of course you should get together. The price you pay for not getting together is real and immediate. The price paid for getting together is extremely remote.
I added a question there, Dennis.
Okay. From Melvin in Puerto Rico. Melvin, 21, in Puerto Rico. Hey, Dennis, exclamation point. How do we rekindle, cute, that was in quotes. That should be, actually, rekindle should be for Hanukkah. But it's okay. The spirit of Christmas in our country. By saying Merry Christmas, that's a great start. Anybody says Happy Holidays, you go back Merry Christmas. You invite, as I go on airplanes, I will be saying Merry Christmas. I don't say Happy Holidays. By the way, sometimes when people say Happy Holidays to me, you know what I respond? What holidays did you have in mind? It's fun. By the way, now that Hanukkah is over, what holidays did they have in mind if they say Happy Holidays? Do they mean Christmas and New Year? Oh, they're now conjugated, as it were. Okay. What's our timing?
20.
Oh, we got a lot.
Yeah.
All right, next question. Troy, 32, Bloomington, Minnesota. Dear Mr. Prager, what do you think of black-owned, quote-unquote, business signs outside of businesses? I doubt anyone could get away with white-owned or Christian-owned without a firestorm from the left. God bless and Merry Christmas. Love, Troy. Oh, it's much worse than that. I'll tell you what exactly it is. Before the Holocaust, the Nazis were in power for about 8 years, from 33 to 41 when the Holocaust began in full force. And in the 30s, they would boycott and sometimes burn Jewish stores. So what you had were signs Aryan owned. That way people knew they should do business there and not burn it down and not beat up the owner. I took a picture in Santa Monica, California of a place during the riots of the left. There are no right-wing riots in America anyway. So I took a picture of a business place that said black owned, and it sent shivers down my spine of reminding me of Nazi Germany when you had Aryan owned, so that you could avoid this place and don't burn it down. That's what the left has come to in this country. And the fact that liberals still think that conservatives are their enemy and not the left is the single saddest fact of a modern American life. Susan, 64, North Adams, Massachusetts. Protecting the innocence of our kids and grandkids has never required more effort than it does today. Correct. What would you say are the top 3 healthy practices families can use to battle the forces eager to poison our kids' hearts and minds? Number 1, don't send them to a regular school, because the task of contemporary teachers, in most cases, is to rip the innocence out of children. That's why in many public schools, you now have, what is it called again? Drag Queen Story Hour for 5-year-olds, where drag queens come in and read them stories. You could see it on the internet. The teacher's purpose there is to rob your child of innocence. We have a lot of teachers who are doing terrible damage. The profession of teacher has been ruined by the left, like the profession of journalist has been ruined by the left. The profession of professor has been ruined by the left. The profession of law and medicine and artist, everything the left touches, it ruins. And teachers are no exception. So the best thing you could do is take your children out of schools dedicated to robbing them of their innocence. The best antidote is a religious home. Religion protects the child's innocence. By the way, here's the irony. If we have produced children with no innocence and adults who are naive. It's like if you are, this sort of seems to be a rule in life. If you are innocent till a certain age, you can be an adult afterwards. But if you are not innocent till a certain age, then you seek to be a child when you're an adult. It's worth considering. That's why there are safe spaces. What are safe spaces at schools? What does that mean? A place where you could stay a child instead of being an adult and confronting unpleasant arguments. That's all it is. They hide in safe spaces because somebody came to campus with a non-left-wing argument. They're called conservatives. Safe spaces is a place to keep you a child. There's a time to be a grown-up and there's a time to be a child. And you need both in their right time. Okay, let's see. How are we? We don't know.
26.
Man, 25, Manila, the Philippines. Been to Philippines a couple of times. I consider Filipinos one of the 5 friendliest peoples in the 130 countries I have visited. Hi, Dennis and Otto. I'm sorry, Man, no response. Man here from the Philippines. I enjoy listening and learning from these fireside chats. Thank you. I have a question about feminists and trans activists. How do they get along? The feminists claim that all men are bad and that the patriarchy have always oppressed and suppressed women. They aren't just pro-women, which I wouldn't have a problem with, they are anti-men. However, if you follow transgender logic, a man can now choose to be a woman by declaring it. Suddenly, they are no longer part of the patriarchy and they get to enjoy women privileges. Why are the feminists okay with this? These are literally men assuming the roles of women. Doesn't this go against their ideology? It's an excellent question. The feminist groups care about women as much as communist groups cared about workers. It's as much as the environmentalists care about the environment. Environmentalist groups, I'm talking about activist groups. There are individuals who certainly care about the environment. By the way, just here's my proof, lest you think this is a bizarre line. If environmentalists warning us about global warming killing the world, right? They've been warning now for 30 years that every 12 years we're told the world will come to an end. It's an existential crisis, they tell us. That means a crisis of existence. So why aren't they for nuclear power? It shows what a fraud the environmentalist arguments only for solar and wind, because the cleanest power and the only one that really works in great numbers is nuclear power, and it's unbelievably safe. So that's the proof that they don't care about the environment. They care about restructuring the economy and the society. So do feminists. They care about restructuring the society. I read Betty Friedan's book. She's the mother of modern feminism, and she loved Marxism. Read her book. And that means restructuring of society. If feminists cared about women, they would defend women against trans women, that is biologically male bodies, who run against them in high school track meets. We have a video at PragerU on that by a girl who was deprived of all of her records because in Connecticut they allow biological men who say they're women to race against them. If feminists cared about women, they would be opposed to that. Is that fair to women, that biological men race against them? Of course it's not fair. But feminism, like all other branches of the left, they're much more interested in restructuring society than defending the group they nominally claim to care about. Black Lives Matter doesn't care about blacks. It cares about reshaping America. And the same with every other left-wing group. They use a group in whose name they speak, but their aim is the transformation of our society. Barack Obama said that. We are 5 days away from fundamentally transforming the United States of America. Said that in 2008, 5 days before he was elected president. And that's what they want to do. The left has always wanted to fundamentally transform America. Because America, the most successful country in terms of human rights, freedom, and affluence in the history of the world, is a living rebuke to the left. The most religious, industrialized democracy, is that successful? The most capitalist, industrialized democracy, is that successful? We must tear America down. And it's being torn down. I'm sorry to end with that on a Christmas broadcast. That is why you have a moral obligation to be happy, to act happy even if you don't feel it. It's easy to be happy during good times, and by the way, a lot of people aren't even happy then. But it's a challenge, and particularly important during bad or challenging times. You owe it to yourself, you owe it to everyone in your life. That is why you really owe it to yourself to be with loved ones and celebrate a Merry Christmas. I'm Dennis Prager. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching this video. To help keep PragerU videos free, please consider making a tax-deductible donation.